Hey everyone, Johnny Struggles here with the Last Starship, Alpha 1. So with Alpha 1 comes a new ship editor, so I figured we'd do a quick video on how to build a basic ship. I have a previous video on this from the original editor, but this has changed a bit, so I figured we'd do a new video for Alpha 1. So the biggest change here, well a little bit display different, but the biggest change is the symmetry button here, this guy here. So you can right click and turn it off and on, and basically you get these two boxes. So when it's off, no symmetry, you can just click and build what you want, design what you want. Symmetry, you get a mirror, which is much nicer to cut your time in half in designing. It's one thing I do, especially with larger ships. If I'm doing something, then I have to like scroll back and forth to see how I did things on one side to match it on the other. So that's a lot nicer. The other cool thing is you can drag this up and down, so it doesn't have to stay right there in the center of the screen. You can move it and do a little symmetry off here or up there. Who knows? Let's put it right there, and a half block too. All right, well we'll put it right there. The other cool thing is they got the buttons for everything right here in the middle. Before you have to click on construction and then select the item you want. Now everything's right here. The other cool thing is you can actually name your ship now. Make sure you hit enter to actually save it. Then you can put the author. Case doesn't matter because it makes it caps anyway. All right, so we have the struggle up here. All right, so we're gonna do a basic ship real quick, nothing fancy, using our symmetry tool. So we have hull selected. One of the differences now, before you would do the hull on the outline of your ship, and then fill it in with interior or floors. Now you have to place hull squares wherever you're going to have a ship. You can only place floor after you put it on a hull. So right now if I click on floors, I can't put it anywhere, even right here. I have to have an interior. Well, this isn't even saved yet, but you have to have a hull squares there before you can put in floors on top of it or build a floor. So basically you have to have a hull of a ship in place, and then you can put the flooring in and the interior. So right now this is just light blue. You got to click on confirm. There's a cost of it. By default, you start off with $1,000,000 right now. So that's the amount you can spend in designing, but it shouldn't be an issue for the most part. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Right click to cancel. Let me back up. Okay, what am I going to do here? So we'll probably just put one engine back here. Something small, single engine. Uh, maybe so engine's 4 wide. That's 4. Press R to rotate. It's nice to cancel these guys. Something like that. I don't know. Maybe we have a basic mining ship or something. We try to do some mining. Do straight. Maybe in here we'll have it broken out. One of the changes is the docking port is now 6 squares wide instead of 4. So we need a wider space for that. And always like, not always, but a lot of times I like making the docking bay stick out from the ship just a little bit, even though it's not really required, as it does extend. Alright, so that's pretty good. And we'll angle things back in for the nose. So it's 8 squares there. I'll leave it at that. I put a couple mining lasers in the front at some point. Now we have to fill in the whole ship because the rest of this I want to be interior. But to make it interior, you got to fill it in with the hole. You got to fill the hole in first. Let's do this. Let's show you the example for interior. Come on, drag. The bad thing is you can't click and drag. You got to draw all this out by hand, which is a bit of a bummer. It sounds like the devs will add click and drag in the future, so this is just temporary. This does take a minute to go through everything. I'm just doing a small ship, so this is a bit tedious with larger ships, especially since I can't do this very well. Here we go. Keep moving there. Bear with me. Almost there. Bloop. Alright. 155k. Confirm. Now we have a ship. Now we can add the interior. So now that we have hole everywhere, we can put the flooring in. And one thing you notice, I can't put it on the edge of the hole. The hole has to be on the exterior of the ship. You can't put flooring there. So it will not let you put flooring there. But the bad thing is I got to now then drag everywhere I want a floor. So I'm going to be spending the next bit of time doing that. So it's a little bit tedious. Again, I'm hoping this is just temporary. Okay, it should be. Thankfully, we got this symmetry tool, so it takes half the time. Still takes a while. I'm just like jamming my finger into my mouse right now. I don't know why. Okay, I think that's it. All right, confirm. Now the good cool thing is the floor is free. The hole is what costs money. Putting the floor in, free. Walls also free. I'm not sure if this also counts as a hole. Like originally, if you put a hole in, it gives you strength to your ship. So I don't know now if the walls also add strength to your ship. Just put one there. I want to go ahead and do some diagonals. Probably put something there. So I'll do diagonal here and here. And these leave alone, and then we'll do a curve right here. Because these might have something in it. We'll see. A lot of times I like to put equipment in first and then build the interior out after I have the equipment in, just to see where I actually need things. Because I run into a habit of building a wall or part of a room and stuff and start putting equipment I want in there and not have enough room. And then I have to redo it. Okay, so armor. I'll go there real quick. Same thing, you can't click and drag. You got to select the spot you want armor on. And it shows up as a dot on here. Sometimes it'd be hard to see on some of these places right here. It's hard to tell where you actually have armor. If you press T for tactical. Oh, I didn't commit it yet. So if I save that as 10K. That's just an example. If I go to tactical, then you can see the X'd out part is armored. It's easier to view from here, actually. Because here, when you get in these parts of the ship, you can't really, it's hard to tell if it's armored. Habitation deck. On the second floor, again, click and drag to fill out the space. This does cost money. You'll need to add a ladder to your ship to get to the second floor. Habitation adds crew to your ship, or crew spaces. And also, if you do passenger transport missions, you need to have cabins for them to be in. Scaffold is just scaffolding type stuff you can put on your ship to stick out. You can attach equipment to it. Let's put some scaffolding on the back here. Maybe we'll plant something out there. We'll just confirm. It's pretty cheap. And destroy, say you put part of your hull in you don't want, you can click on the hull and destroy it. It's free to do that, but then you got to pay money to rebuild it, so I don't want to do that. So right click and cancel that. And create ship, if I click on this, you can create an entirely new ship from scratch. It'll give you a new build plane you can plop down to build on and go from there. So pretty neat. The only thing you can't do is you can't cancel. Say I click on this and you put it out there, you can't undo it. You can't get rid of it. So here, we have the ship. We have interior, walls, showed armor, habitation, we'll do that a little later. Scaffolding showed what that was. So the dock, you get a docking bay for free. Or port. This is where a shuttle will come up and connect. Once I confirm this, the shuttle will come out here. Let's go. There it is. And here's the shuttlecraft. I'm going to give us 5 guys with spacesuits on because we have no atmosphere in our ship. Here we are. Here's our crew. Now we have alerts. No cabin space, no oxygen, no water, food, or fuel. 5 guys. We have 100 much money. So I'm going to slow the game down, pressing space to slow down because I don't want time to run out on me here. I want to get this done before these guys suffocate. So we got to go to the trade screen to buy equipment. We're going to need a reactor for electricity. We're just going to buy one. We're going to buy a single battery. Buy a tank for fuel. Now they have 2 loaders for the, well, 3 loaders technically for the game. They have just one called loader, a fuel loader, and then an oxygen loader. Now the fuel and oxygen loaders are $600, and right now they only stick in one direction. They're specific to that type of fuel or resource. So I can only put fuel in this one. The other one can only do oxygen. This loader can be used for either one, but just one of them once you install it. If it's hooked up to a fuel line, then you can only use it for fuel. If it's on an oxygen line, then it's only for oxygen. But you can rotate this around different angles. These are stuck in the position they're facing. The way you see it is the only way you can place it right now. So I'm going to buy 2 of these because I may want to rotate them different directions. Fuel, I'm going to buy 10 of these. So you can single click to buy 1 item. If you hold the shift key down, you can click and buy 5. And then right click to cancel, of course. So if you shift right click, cancel 5, cancel 5. I want to buy 10. And as you purchase things, as you can see, it adds up at the bottom cost and the total here on the right. And it will alert you once you spend too much money and you can't afford it. So we'll need 1 engine, 1 FTL drive, which is very expensive. Now thrusters you don't need immediately, but they definitely do help. They're also required to do passenger rescue missions. If there's a contract to rescue people from a stranded ship, you need thrusters to accept the mission, and it would be extremely hard to do without thrusters anyway. It's very difficult to just use engine only to align your docking port to another ship. It's almost impossible sometimes. Okay, so there's that, and we're going to need some FTL charges for our ship. So we have a FTL drive. We need FTL charges to be able to jump between systems. Buy 10 of those. Habitation. So this is life support and stuff. We'll get to that in a minute. Let's get this set up and get power to our ship, and then we'll do life support. Under defense, you have guns. Industry, you have smelting and grinding ice. Yeah, metal ingots, you can buy that. That comes from smelting. And then logistics drones, which comes from the drone bay, which, not there. That's the other thing. In the trade screen, you don't always get everything available in the game. You jumped it from place to place. They have certain amounts of certain things. You don't always have everything. So the huge tank now is graphics. I think this used to be called large tank. Small, medium, large. Maybe it was huge. I don't remember. So here's the oxygen loader. Again, same price as the fuel loader, but only can be used for oxygen. And some of these things show up under more than one category. It's the same thing, just because of what it is. Like FTL charges also show up under resources. All the resources you can get: ammunition, fuel, food, water. I am going to buy 10 food and 10 water. So that as we're going, the crew's going to consume this. So we can hire more crew as well. So right now, the ship has no atmosphere. If I bought 5 crew, I would have to buy 5 more spacesuits for them as well. Otherwise, they will not board your ship. You'll actually get an alert about it, because they don't want to suffocate. And then all items just shows everything. If you go to sell, if you had anything on your ship to sell, it'd be here. But anyway, we'll confirm this. We'll have about 300k left. And minus that. Yeah, almost 400k. So put a normal speed. Shuttle's going to come give us our goodies. I'm going to go to construction, go to storage, and do any cargo. I'm going to just put some any cargo out here. Designate this as cargo space. So they get these 2 rows, 2 rows from the docking port. 12 items now. It used to be only 8. So they can unload from the shuttle, and then they'll put them in the cargo space. If we didn't have this space designated, the shuttle would unload as much as it could in this space and stop. And say, get an alert that there's no room to unload, basically. So as they're unloading, we can go to construction, install, and start installing our goodies. I always like to install the engine in there. One thing I found with this view, this little 3D view, it's hard to tell exactly where you're placing something. Even though it's got the little grid around the engine, it's kind of hard to tell how centered it is. So if you go to overlays in the bottom right, click on schematic, and click on schematic, there we go. The walls disappear and you got more of a top-down view to make it align better. So we're here in this view of the engine. You see there's like a darker shaded red, or I don't know what you call it, less filled in, and then the far right is brighter red, where it's more filled in. The bright red area means it's in an invalid position. So that needs to be internal. When it shows up full 3D like this, or full picture, its actual sprite, then it's good to go. And if I put this inside here, then you get the bright red in the end. The back of the engine needs to be outside the ship. So I have a wide range to install this. I'm going to install it right here so the back kind of matches with the rear of the ship. That looks good. Thrusters. I like to put 4 thrusters on here. Can I put them out here on the scaffolding? No, I cannot. I'm going to put the scaffolding right in the way. But they changed the size of the thrusters. So they used to be 2x3. Now they're just 1x3, so they just fit in the wall. I guess I could put it right on the scaffolding though, so I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's put one there. Put 4 thrusters in this guy so he'll be very maneuverable. You can be able to rotate fast, especially with such a small ship. Oh, let me cancel that. So let me slow down. Just right click on it. Cancels it. I'll put that inside the wall a little bit like the back one, just inside the angled piece. Now as long as they can get to the item in the hull, it's fine. So I can cover this with hull as well. As long as this was open, they could get to it and repair it if it gets damaged. Okay. So reactor, we need a power plant. We'll put him up here a little bit. We'll rotate him around with the fuel line at the bottom. And then we're going to put a medium tank below him. And we're going to use this medium tank as like a fuel tank. We'll see that in a minute. And then a loader. So with the normal loader, I can rotate him around. We'll put this guy like this. Should we do it like that? No, we'll do it like that. And then we have a battery. And the battery stores, just like a real battery, excess charge. The way the game works is your reactor, let me slow it down. The reactor will provide power to your ship. And say your thrusters turn on, or your engine turns on, or you have guns or mining lasers. When they fire, they draw from power from your system. Well, your reactor doesn't provide instant full power to whatever it's doing. It just provides power to your systems at a constant rate. If it's providing 10 megawatts of power for your ship, and then your mining laser wants to draw 50 megawatts, it's not going to be there. The reactor needs time to spool up. So your battery is there to take that initial hit, and the reactor will spool up for the demand, and then recharge the batteries once the demand is down. And we'll maybe see that here in a little bit. Last thing, FTL drive, let's put it on the other end over here. Yeah, just right in the middle, we'll just stick it right there. So we got this equipment in place, now we need to kind of plug things in. We'll put normal speed. So first thing I'm going to do is cables. Run the power line across here, and this guy lines up perfectly. Did not even plan that. Okay, so these red dots in the equipment means where you need to plug them in. It means they require electricity and you need to plug them in. So now we need to run a line up to the front of the ship. For these thrusters here. And the FTL drive as well. So everything's connected. The next thing we need to do is pipes for the fuel line. Our engine needs fuel. Reactor needs fuel. Run across there. Oh, it didn't connect. It should turn yellow. That should fill in. So should that. Connect that. So that filled in yellow for the fuel. We'll see if that's actually connected. And then we go down to the loader. Once I connect this, he's going to start loading automatically fuel to it because we connected a yellow fuel line to it. Yep, okay, it is connected. Now they filled in. All right, just meaning they have fuel. Okay, I got it. That has fuel too. So once he has fueled up, we'll have power. I'm getting sound effects playing in the game now. The reactor's providing juice. Things are powering online. See the charging up. Getting extra sound effects as things come online. Oh, automatic thrust. I didn't go to tactical. So throttle's on by default a little bit, it looks like. Go to 0. Let's park it. That must be a little defect maybe? I don't know. FTL drive is spooling up. You go to power grid here and see your power. Total usage 89 megawatts. Now it's dropped down. So the FTL drive just fully powered is charged. And now the reactor is spooling down. So we only need to produce 9 megawatts of power to keep this ship going right now. Okay, so this should go down to 9, 10, yeah. Battery's charged, we're good. One thing while we're here is on the power menu, see the bars on the right, you can right click on this to decrease power usage. If you go all the way down, there's nothing, you just power it off your system. You can turn it back on. So you can do that. I rarely do stuff like this. I've done it in situations where I'm low on fuel and I want to conserve power, so I'll turn off the weapons or other systems that I don't need, or power down like life support of a big ship to conserve fuel, because the more power you're using, the faster you consume fuel. Okay. And alright, so we have a basic ship here. So go to tactical, I can right click somewhere and he'll put on normal speed, he'll turn and drive to it. And I think we just completed an objective as well for a new ship. One cool thing now, when you're in tactical screen, you can see your speed and evasion. So your velocity and your evasion. So your evasion is how much chance you have to evade, I guess. I don't know if that's a direct percentage because I have ships fast enough to go over 100%. So we'll see how that actually works. Turning increases your evasion percentage, and just the speed forward increases it. So throttle down. Let's go full throttle and see what this ship can do with one engine. I mean, the more weight you have in your ship, the slower it goes. But velocity 38, we're actually pretty quick. That's not bad at all. 31%. And if I left click here to turn, that number shoots up. Yeah, just 61%. Nice. And we'll kick it back down to 0 throttle. Got like these little wings out here in the back. Okay, now we need to add some life support because we have no oxygen. We can wait on cabins a little bit. But we have no oxygen. We have food, water, but no air, and these guys are in these suits, which they used to tell you how much oxygen they had. Do they not do that anymore? Maybe it's unlimited? I don't know. Either way, so we go to the trade screen. We need to buy some life support. Habitation. So we need, at the very least, we need a loader for oxygen, which we have already bought. We bought the default loader. So then the basic thing you need is an air duct. You can connect the loader to an air duct. And then you need bottles of oxygen. That'll just put O2 into the air. So, but we're going to buy the full suite of things to explain how all this works. So CO2 Scrubber, if we can buy the full suite of things anyway. Air reprocessor with the CO2 Scrubber. Sewage pipe, waste treatment machine, water purifier, oxygen maker, and we want to buy another tank. Let's just buy a small tank, and I'll explain that in a minute. We're going to need a ladder for the habitation deck, and then we're going to just buy 2 bottles of oxygen. That'll probably be way more than enough. Confirm. So we just spent a little less than half our money. So ship's coming. So here, while it's coming, you got the fuel canister here. It's going to the fuel tank. It's at 39% full. Once the canister's empty, he'll get another fuel canister pop on there. The idea of having the tank is, if you didn't have this and just had the loader here going to the reactor and the engines, once the canister's done, the guy's got to go grab another one and put it on there. During that time, you could run out of power, like the reactor could run out of fuel, and then your ship loses power. And nobody wants that. Especially if you're in combat or in a meteor shower doing some mining and you lose power, then you start getting killed by meteors because you don't have anything to protect yourself. Alright, so let's slow it down. We go to construction, install, and we'll start off with the CO2 scrubbing. So once the guys are out of their suits, when they exhale, they're going to produce CO2, and that will build up in your ship. And if it gets high enough levels, it'll kill your crew. So we need a CO2 scrubber to handle that. We're just going to put this way towards the front. Put a little farther forward. So CO2 scrubber, this pink dot is right on the power line, so it's already going to get power, and then the output here where CO2 is going to come out. We need to connect that to an air reprocessor, which takes the CO2 and converts it to oxygen. Point it that way, and then we're going to put an air duct after that. So the air duct's actually going to put this into the air, the O2 into the air. And R to rotate, just to line these ports. I just like making these things close, so I just have a short pipe connecting to avoid any issues with running other pipes around these guys later. So we go to cables, we run a power line to connect the power to these two once they're built, and then pipes. So CO2 to CO2, and then O2 to O2. And there you go. Once this is installed, we'll let it speed up. We will start being able to scrub CO2 from the air and produce oxygen from it. Now right now our atmosphere, if we go to view that view, we have no atmosphere. The X's mean you have nothing in the air. It's just a vacuum. So we need to fix that. And the easiest thing to have is to install a loader that's connected to our air lines for the air duct. So we're just going to do that right here. Let's rotate this around. Oh, cancel that. I want that. Maybe the way I had it originally was the best way. The circle is right alongside there. Pipe. When I connect this, they install it. They have this oxygen bottle right here. I'm going to pop that guy on here, and then this air duct is going to start expelling air into the atmosphere, and then eventually these guys will be able to breathe without their suits. Okay, so we get out of the schematic view here. Actually, construction view. So this guy's flashing here, meaning it needs oxygen. Please give me oxygen. There we go, and the fan's running. Means it's venting out O2 into the atmosphere. And here we go. So this is our oxygen level in each square of the ship. We're just a big open space, so it's pretty evenly distributed. And it gets higher and higher until it starts to turn green, and then bright green, and fills up to the top. And here you can see how much O2 we have on board. It's flashing because the actual oxygen you have in the atmosphere is low. So once it fills up, it should stop flashing. And these guys will start taking their suits off. There we go. So that should stop flashing. But it's still flashing. Okay, we don't really have any storage space for them to place their suits, though, so they're going to put it wherever. Let's turn that view off. Alright, so now we need to make a habitation deck so we can do our waste treatment. So to do that, we need to install a ladder, because the habitation deck is above this floor. I like to put the ladder close to the door, but in this case, we're just going to put it up here out of the way. Maybe hang on. Let's go to schematic view so I can see how much space we got. We got space down here. Let's put it right here next to the FTL drive. So this is the access to the second floor. I'll install it. Okay, and then we can go to editor, habitation. Bad thing is, I can't see where the ladder sticks up because I got to build a habitation above it. I go view that. Okay, if I click on this, I can see the ladder back here behind this view that tells me how many cabins I have and how much sewage I've built up in the cabin. I'm going to turn symmetry off because I don't necessarily want symmetry on. Since I got the ladder offset, I might just build a habitation on like an offset side of the ship here. So I need to have it connected to the ladder. And again, you got to fill in this whole space manually. There's no click and drag yet. And you got to purchase this. So this costs some money, some funds. So let's confirm that and see what we get. We have 4 cabins, but we have 5 crew, so we need another cabin. So maybe I will make this just kind of even with the bottom side of the ship, or squared. This will give us like 6 or 7 cabins. Confirm. Yep, 6. So we have room for 1 more person. If I made this bigger to have more cabin space, then we can accept contracts for passenger missions for transporting from one system to another. The requirement is there needs to be enough cabins. So if you have a mission to transport 20 passengers, you need to have 20 free cabins for that. Right now we have 1, so there's going to be no mission for us to transport 1 person. Man, these guys are using the bathroom already. They were definitely holding it. So with this, we need a sewage system set up to handle the last part of life support that is available in the game. So if we go back to see the interior, let's get rid of the habitation deck view. Come on, go away. There we go. Thing is, with this, we need to put it right underneath the habitation deck to start with. So there is a sewage pipe. Just think of this as like the toilet drain. It needs to be under the habitation deck. Oh, I got some crossed off areas. I've not seen that before. So can we not put them there? Probably not, because oh, the ladder entrance is right here. I got this ladder rotated to where you can only get to it from here. Let me undo that. So to uninstall something, dismantle and then click on what you want to uninstall. You gotta come on handily do that. Or happily do that. Alright, so click on ladder. So I guess rotate around. Where's the front? So I'm guessing the front is the yellow area there. Do it like that so the entrance to the ladder is off this side. Okay, sewage pipe. Okay, yeah, so they got this part hashed off. So yeah, it turns red. I can't install it over that spot. Because where people come in and out, and they don't want to be walking into a sewage pipe. Thing is, I need to put this underneath the habitation deck. And there was before in the previous editor, you could see it when you did this. But I can't see it right now. How far over does it go? It goes over 2 squares from the ladder to the right. So here's the edge of the habitation deck. So I will install a sewage pipe right here. So this will drain the sewage from the top floor down to this floor. And you need to connect that to a waste treatment machine. So I'm going to rotate this around because I want the sewage pipe to come close to the entrance for the wastewater treatment. Do I want that right next to my FTL drive? I don't know, it doesn't really matter. I will put it... Knowing how things set up. I will do things a little differently. I'll do like that. Then I will put the water purifier, because wastewater comes out. We need to purify it. Right here. Again, aligning these dots to be right next to each other. This is just easy for me. You can do it however you like. But for me, I like to do it that way. Then oxygen maker on the top. Rotate around so the water lines up. Then O2 out the ascend here. So we need to connect this to an air duct. We can either connect it to the existing air duct or run it to a different air duct if we want to add another one. I usually combine systems together. And the last thing is a small tank. So I'm going to actually, since we have space, put it up here, put it down here, put it over here, doesn't matter. I'm going to put it right here actually, right in the front. And I'm going to connect that to our airline. Not cable, we want pipe. So excess O2, like from this bottle, will get stored in this tank. So output blocked right now. There's CO2 to scrub. He wants to put it into the atmosphere. He can't because it's full. Part of the reason is this bottle here. So now that we have a tank to store excess, we can now scrub CO2 again and process air. I don't know why this O2 is flashing. I don't know what the threshold is for it, but I'm going to ignore it because we have plenty of air, plenty of oxygen. So one thing, if I didn't have this tank, as you've seen, this said output blocked, meaning it couldn't scrub CO2 from the atmosphere, and that would keep building up. And it would probably be getting replaced from this O2 bottle, pushing out O2 into the air. Possibly. Not replaced, but being blocked from scrubbing because of that bottle. So having a tank gives you a buffer. If you have some surge, you get a lot of passengers, and all of a sudden now you have a lot more CO2 on board because of all the extra people. This can then pump extra oxygen into this tank if you can't put it into the atmosphere. And this will save you a lot of headaches. Usually I use a medium tank, but small is typically fine as well. And then with the sewage doesn't produce too much. Let's go ahead and plug those in for power, and then we'll run the piping for it. So all these aligned coincidentally, so that's cool. And then we'll connect pipes. So sewage to sewage. So the arrow pointed out, one pointed in. These red dots are filled in, so that means they're connected. These lit up, so they're online. So wastewater to wastewater. Yep, that's good. And then actual water to water. And then oxygen. So I'm just going to run this pipe down and connect it into this. Now one thing you cannot do, you cannot cross other pipes. If you do, it's going to break it. So now I got a problem. This is flashing, it's broken, and it's all blue, same color as oxygen. So I don't want that, of course. So right click and drag, and get rid of that stuff. Now it's happy again. Okay. And that is basic life support. So now we got sewage treatment, we have CO2 scrubbing, and so we don't have to worry about our atmosphere in our ship anymore. Unless we have some surge in people on board. But that's usually for short term. Okay. So, schematic. We don't have a graphic for oxygen maker or the sewage pipe yet. The waste treatment machine produces compost. You can sell that at the trade screen once you have enough. Alright, so what else can we talk about? Walls. Let's put some walls in here. We have this big open space. It's a small ship. You don't really need walls. Walls are a nice touch, though. Let's do this. Let's run a wall here. And just like before, you gotta click confirm to do anything. So we can split off our life support room from the rest of the ship here. And I want to put a wall here. Yeah, I can block that off. Maybe I should have shifted this stuff over a space for a docking bay. Docking port. Is that a loader there? I don't know. I want to put a wall right across here. Ideally lining up with this. Maybe shift our hull over for this. Oh, that's not a wall. We need a hull. Leave this in the open room, so let's confirm that for a wall. They can move their supplies out of the way. Yeah, they put a suit on. It's like a little bug because it's now in space, maybe. Construction, storage, any cargo. Let's make this wider so they have more space for things right now. And let's do some editing of our hull. Construction, let's uninstall our docking bay. Dismantle our docking port. Let's do that. And editor, hull, I want... Sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to see now that we have this graphical view. throws you off a little bit. Well, I want symmetry turned on. I want this to angle out here, and this to be a full square. And I need to destroy this here. Can I just do that? Will that do anything? Confirm. Oh, it did do it. And then I need to destroy the square here. Confirm. I think that just shifted it over the one block I needed. Go back to floors. Yep, that's funny, there's still a floor there. Confirm. And then we'll do a wall right here. Confirm. So now I can put a door here. It looks a bit cleaner. Construction, install our docking port back where it was. Rotate it around. There we go. When you can see the graphic, you're good to go. Go back to editor. Alright, so we have the engine room now with doors to enter it. We have our FTL drive, a ladder to go to the second floor with like a little... Let's turn symmetry off. We'll put another wall right here. And, I mean, I could put another wall right here in the front. Kind of jog it over to separate the front, because we might put some lasers or something. Let's cancel that. Mining lasers or something in the front. Make a wrong button. Rotate this. Confirm, what's that gonna do? Okay, yep. And then we have some mining lasers up here. We can make that another room and separate these things out if we wanted to. If we go to the trade screen, we can actually buy some doors. 5-6. Confirm. And we still have a bunch of money, so that's nice. So the last thing for this is do the jump for the hyperspace. So we have a ship with life support in it. And if you're still watching, we'll do one more thing. First, we'll install these doors. Back schematic. Won't let me rotate the door. That's too bad. I'd like to usually try to make it open a specific way. Like I want this to open up into this space and not out into the middle of the outside of the ship. But that's okay. I'll put some doors in. Alright. I feel like there's different sections of the ship. We got engine room, storage. I mean, FTL drive maybe should not be here, but who knows? Who cares? Storage, life support, and then whatever we put in front here is probably going to be mining laser or something else. We'll see. Now, if we want to do a mining ship, we need a mining laser, a drone bay, and drones. But I think here we don't have all that equipment. We have a smelter, we have drones. There's no drone bay. It would be nice on all items if I had a search button to search for what I wanted, since I know the name. But there's no drone bay at this trade station, so I can't do a mining rig right now. I don't think there's not even a mining laser. So I can't do any missions for that. Missions we could do would be rescue stranded ship, but we don't have any cabin space, so we can't do that. So the missions we're stuck doing would be cargo missions. We could put some weapons on here and do a combat mission, or try to do a combat mission. We buy a cannon and some Gatling guns. Do they have ammunition for those? Bullets? Cannon rounds, yeah. Not many bullets, though. Trust me, 300 bullets goes quick. Those things like to fire, and fire fast. Maybe we should just try a quick combat mission. Let's do that instead. Instead of a mining ship, it will just be a little pirate ship. So, defense. We'll buy the cannon. We'll buy... Can we buy 4 and afford it? Yeah, we can buy 4 and afford it. And we're going to skip the railgun. It's too expensive. We're going to buy all these bullets. And we'll buy 10 rounds. Can we afford? These are cheap enough. We'll buy all of them. Confirm. Alright, we're going to need a little more storage space, but we're going to put the cannon in front. So we go to construction, storage, cannon shells. I'm going to make this all cannon storage for extra rounds near the gun. And then Gatling guns, I got 4. Kind of idea is put 2 on each side of the ship. And I may just put them in the life support area, I'm not sure. You know, life support, life ending support. Same room. So we'll put our 1 cannon. It'd be nice to afford a second cannon. Or have a second cannon. Alright. One thing is the ship the game likes to auto place the thing in the right direction too, so which is nice. So I didn't click the rotate button; it just put the thing in place. Delivery. Okay, here we go. I don't have enough storage, and this delivery zone is full, and this guy needs to unload more. And I got a warning about it being full. Okay, so we'll do Gatling gun there. We'll put them right next to each other for now, and we'll do the same thing on the opposite side of the room. So I didn't have to rotate it; it auto-rotated to be placed correctly. There we go. Now we need to plug these guys in, eat up some power. Now this is a bit of weaponry here, so I don't think our one reactor and battery can fully cover this, but in short bursts it'd probably be alright. Once these power up, we'll start delivering ammunition to it. And speaking of which, we need storage for our bullets, which are for the Gatling guns here. We'll just put extra storage here and here, right in the middle of the hallway. I think I got a lot of bullets though. So this is nice. You put storage right next to the guns that need the items, so it reloads faster. Because when they run out of bullets, the crew has to come grab bullets from wherever you store them and bring them to the gun. So if you have ammunition storage of the type next to the gun that uses it, then it's a quick trip. They just go to the gun and fill it up versus going somewhere else, grabbing it, then going to the gun. So I like doing it this way. Normally I have more space to stuff, but I like to make nice hallways, but we're just doing a quick video here. Hey, come on, let's make more storage, I guess. Any cargo. We're not using this space up here, so we'll do that. And in fact, we may just do this to make it even bigger. Make sure we have plenty of room. We'll go to contracts now. Let's see what we can do. Cargo. Wait, rescue civilians. We can do that? Oh yeah, no kidding. So I can't transport passengers because I don't have the capacity for cabin, but you can always rescue civilians from wrecked ship regardless of how much room you have. And usually those are pretty lucrative. So 31 crew on board. So yeah, I can get 31 people on this tiny ship. So let's accept that mission. Is there a time penalty? No. And there's no other missions we can really do. We can't do any mining. Can't transport passengers. So we're going to do two things. We're going to rescue missions from this wrecked ship. So we'll do a quick docking tutorial. And then we'll check out the combat with the guns we got. So we go to sector map. One thing that's changed now. Used to be you can get combat missions, but now they said there's just one hostile system on each sector. So here's the hostiles in this sector. And the hostiles here are supposed to be based on your rank right now. So our combat rank is 0. Our rank on everything is 0. You start off with no ranking on anything because you've not done anything yet. So we're going to jump here. By default, the game wants you to go to someplace first as part of the initial missions to do. And we're going to skip that. We're just going to kind of do some other stuff. We're going to do this rescue mission. So I went to map. You can hit M or click on map. Select your destination. X out. Or click M. Go back. Then we go to FTL. Prepare to jump, Captain. Ship rotates the point to where we need to go. The FTL drive's already spooled up, so we are good once we're aligned. And we're good. And we're jumping. I took one of our FTL charges. Alright, now we're here. So we'll open up tactical. And there's a mining rig. Here's the ship we need to help rescue. So this red flashing thing sticking out. Oh, he's moving too. This is a difficult one. The red flashing thing sticking out. We need to overlay our yellow docking port over that for our docking port to extend and connect. This is going to be interesting. I think we just got these two armor plates in the front. Okay, this actually shows our alignment and distance here on this thing that's hard to read. Alright, so come up, right click here. Now the difficult part, if I just had to right click and use the engines to get close to this, it would be very, very hard because the engine is not very good for this. The thrusters you see turning on help rotate the ship. And then you have maneuvering thrusters. So if you click on maneuvering, let's change it a little bit. You can click and hold the mouse button to push your guy around different ways. Forward. And then you got rotate one way or the other. I just like using the keys. On the keyboard, you can use I, J, K, L. So L moves you forward, rotate right. Oh, sorry, U and O. U, I, O, and J, K, L. You got I, J, K, L for up, down, left, right, and then O and U is rotate left and right. So we want to rotate to align ourselves with the ship. And we want to get our yellow spot mark lined up with the docking port there. Our small ship is very maneuverable with these 4 thrusters. It's a lot for us. Okay, so our docking port is extending. We just need to keep going until it locks in, then we're good. Once it locks in, okay, we're docked. We don't need to touch anything. And these 31 people are going to climb into our tiny ship. One thing to be aware of, they will consume water and food. So if you don't have much water or food, this may not be the best idea. If you do grab too many people like this, you want to hurry up, get to a system with a planet, and unload them. The faster you do it, the less chance you have of losing a lot of resources. So they've been offloaded. We get some experience for that. So we can go back to our tactical undock, and their ship will drift on forward. That's it. So now we can go sector map. We'll go to these hostiles in a minute. I want to get these guys offloaded. We'll go here. No, we'll go here. This is where the game wanted us to go to begin with. We'll jump over there, and then we'll jump to these hostiles. Maybe we can pick up a cannon with our new funds we'll be getting. So FTL, prepare jump. You'll see up here the cabins are flashing now because we have 31 passengers and only room for 6 people. But we'll ignore that. It's fine. It's fine. They're all happy standing around. Okay. I'm going to press the number 2. You get the speed buttons up here. Speed things up if you don't want to wait. When you jump into a system, it defaults to the normal speed. Alright, so contracts down here says we have one ready. The contracts. This one says deliver. And click on deliver. And escape. Shuttlecraft will come and take all the green guys off. And this will stop flashing. We'll get our money. Okay, this is done. Okay. There we go. Alright, thanks for flying Struggle Airlines. We hope you enjoyed your stay. Now let's go check out the trade screen. So our money's building up as we get it. Once everyone's off, we'll get paid. Nice. So let's check out the trade screen. Let me pause the game or slow it down. You can't actually pause, you can just slow it down, which is causing that audio for the docking port to run on. So there's no Gatling gun, or no cannon here. There's more Gatling guns, rail guns. That's too bad. I'm gonna buy... No, we don't really have room for that. Let's see what else we got here. Propulsion. I think we need more batteries, though. Buy 2 more. We have a lot of fuel, but we'll buy 2 more fuel. One thing to note, the price fluctuates on items here. You'll see it says plus 30%, and these say minus 23. So the closer you get to the void, the cheaper the equipment gets, and the more expensive resources get. The farther away you get from the void is the reverse. These get more expensive, and these get cheaper. So if the void is really close to you, this stuff is extremely cheap, and that's where you get your biggest discounts. So you can get close to the void, buy a bunch of stuff you don't need that's expensive, and then get farther away from it and sell it for profit. So you can do that as a little thing in the game. Like you can buy engines. Most expensive items is FTL drive. Right now it's 150k at 23% discount. When you get close to the void, you can basically buy this half price at 70k, and then jump to the next sector if you hang on to it and sell it at your first location and for 150, 160, whatever it is at the beginning. Let's see. Do they have industry? They have a mining laser here. 31k. I mean, I kind of want to buy it, but I'm thinking we'll try combat. How about we do this? We'll get a railgun. We have room for a railgun. And then we'll buy 10 rounds for it. Confirm. So we'll put the railgun next to the cannon. We'll put the ammunition up there for it too. And then we will go say hi to some bad guys. See what's there. Put it back on normal speed so that shuttle actually shows up in a reasonable time. And I want to put railgun slugs storage up here too. We'll just do it right there in front. Okay, let's go to install. Put a railgun. Let's go back to schematic because I can't really see. Okay, that's right, because I have extra space on either side. And then I put a pair of batteries in the back here. I have these little slots here. Rotate it around so the battery's like right on the cable. Good to go. It's like I meant to do that or something. There we go. So we have extra battery, extra charge once they install it. And while they're doing that stuff, we're going to go to the map and click on hostiles. So one thing you'll see here now, this says unreachable. That means the void's going to consume this place before we can get there. So try to avoid that. One thing is when you select a destination, it shows you, how big the void's going to expand for that jump. Another thing is, we can't do it here, I don't think, is if you can't jump to a sector, like this is really close to blocking your travel. You cannot travel through a system to get to another system. It would show a red X on our line right here if this was blocking us from going there directly. Alright, so we're going to the hostiles. We got our batteries installed, they're charging up. See there, we got a power grid. Okay, 3,000 power. That should definitely help us out and help our one reactor out when weapons start firing, because we are probably underpowered. We could probably use a second reactor, which I don't know where we would install it. Maybe remove this battery and put it in. Kind of tight on space back here. Let's see. Let's just wing it and go for it. Oh, we need to plug that guy in. He's flashing. He's dark. He needs a power line. That'd have been silly if I jumped over there and... Why is my gun not firing? Alright. He's charging up. FTL. Or jump. Rotate. Alignment happening. And... Oh man. Okay, when we jump back in, the FTL drive's going to spool back up once he puts a charge in there. We're going to jump to tactical. We have a hostile teeny fighter, so not a big enemy, which is good. That guy. And one thing I've noticed is a lot of times these guys won't attack you until you fire at them. So he's got 2 guns, nothing else. I don't know if these are cannons or Gatling guns or what. But we actually have a good chance of taking this guy out. He's no armor. Let's just turn our ship around, open up weapons. Yeah, we're on fire. Select my railgun. You can see the railgun has a long range. Cannon has a short range, but this cannon does a lot of damage fast in a short range, and the railgun does, depending on what the target is, can do a lot of damage from long range, but it fires slower. Put on normal speed might help us turn. Then we have 4 PDCs on either side. Alright, so our railgun is on auto, so he's just going to shoot as soon as he has... Nope. He should shoot when he has a target. Let me deselect him. Is he going to fire? Why is he not shooting, Bob? Alright, we're going to manually take intervention here. Select him. See if we can just target his gun. What are the chances we actually hit it? Oh, hang on. Pause. Pause. Slow down. Yeah, he did fire. I need to... If you click on this, it unlinks your camera to the ship. When the ship was turning, my camera was turning. Sometimes it can make it difficult to click on things, like a target specific object. I'll do that again. That's a little better. And I want my ship to go faster because I don't want to have a higher evasive deal. Right, normal speed. Is the railgun going to charge up fire one more time before it gets too close? There we go. Oh, that was a good hit. Let me pause it so you can see it's flashing. We took that gun out with that strike. That's a good hit. He's trying to turn about. Let me put this back on auto. And we'll turn right this way. Actually, leave it full throttle. Normal speed. Come about. See, he's got 809 health. He's got 98 damage taken from that one strike. We have 994 health. Hope our Gatling guns start firing because they'll do a lot of damage quick on this little guy. Come on, get in range. There we go. But because he's fast, it's hard to hit him too. Let's come about. Let's get our cannon. Let's cut the throttle back. We'll just point at him real quick and let the guns do their thing. Come on, cannon, fire. He's slowing down. You see he's targeted him. Oh, that's a good hit. Look at all the damage. He's venting. Let's try to point the front at them. These big guns will do more damage. If you can stay on them, though. His gun looks like it's repaired. It's not flashing. It's not down anymore. Click. Oh, the railgun round missed. That cannon shot got him. Let's turn a little bit while guns are reloading. So the Gatling guns get some action in there. There we go. Come about. Alright. You see the cannon's got a lock. Railgun missed. Cannon hit. I think. I'm just holding the mouse button down and curving it to keep my front of my ship pointed towards him. Try to keep the cannon and the railgun to target him. Since he's just doing the loop. He must hit some kind of sweet spot where he can't turn into us. He's at 67% damage. Let's come alongside him, let the Gatling guns do some work. Break. Break. That's cool. Yeah, roll out in front of me. Will we shoot? Oh, we tried to. That cannon tried to get him. Well, let's leave it this way. The Gatling guns on that side will fire at him, maybe. Maybe not. So the Gatling guns are these PDCs on the left here. Surprised the ones on the one side didn't shoot at him. There they go. He's about gone. No, he's turning. Alright. Let's stop playing around. Let's just take him out. Rotate. We get some very maneuverable with these 4 thrusters on this tiny ship. Oh, the railgun got him. Hostiles eliminated. And what? We got a cool 100k. Nice. Let's check things out. Back to the main menu here. There's what's left of the ship. He left some supplies and... Sorry, guys. So if we had drones, we could click on salvage here. Gather salvage. And the drones would come out and grab the equipment, grab the salvage, and bring it back to our ship. If you do gather materials, they would gather these little circles here. That's actual iron ore or scrap, whatever it is. And you can put that in a smelter and smelt into iron bars. The beginning chain of what could be a supply chain. Alright, I think that's it. I'm doing this for about an hour. Hope you enjoyed the video. That'll be the end of the tutorial. If you did like this, if it was helpful for you, please click that like button. Consider subscribing if you haven't. And enjoy the rest of your day. Alright, thanks everyone, and bye.